organized labor. Some time ago, some people were even crazy enough to fight against the Chekhov system. And if the Chekhov system collapses, trade unionism simply collapses. What is the stand of organized labor and so? Interestingly, the position of organized labor is that be neutral. Just go vote. It's not even about what you are voting for, but just go vote. Vote for anything. Go home and watch television and accept the results. Wow. Very interesting. Anyway, at this juncture, we'd like to invite our audience to ask questions and to make comments. So, all of you, anybody with a question, anybody with a comment, please do. Our brother Kisi is very articulate, and I'm sure that he'll be able to answer all your questions and he'll be able to deal with all your comments. So anybody with a question, with a comment, just show your hand. I see one, I see two, only two, three. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start from you, and then you, and then you. And then after that, we'll ask Comrade Abdul Haq to visit our social media platforms and to read their concerns, so that we can deal with that. So, boss, we start with you.
Okay, good evening. I'm also a Shane Ebenezer from Construction and Building Materials Workers Union of TUC Ghana. I would like to ask Mr. Stephen Kisilabi that is May Day only about parading and marching and also for workers to actually show their grievances to the president. I was there witnessing this May Day celebration and I realized most of the workers were given awards. So I would like to know much more about giving them the awards and then what it entails. Thank you very much.
Good evening, studio audience and those outside watching Pan-African television. My concern is very much about workers, how they transit from their very number of years they serve, then after their service, what become of workers. So I'm very much interested in when workers have worked based on their salary, when they go back, what they receive. So I want to find out from my good friend Kisi, Comrade Kisi, whether he's aware that salaries of workers are been deducted for about 8 to 9 months and it's not been paid to SNIT. Because in the long run, as we are here like this, we will grow old and we'll face that vigorous in nature. So I want to know the TUC stand on it, because I think we are having difficult times with the leadership. Thank you.
Good evening, comrades. My name is Daniel Kwabna-Sare. I'm a journalist with Pan-African TV. So mine is just a quick remarks, comments on this topic of discussion. Well, today being May Day, what popped up in my mind was, yes, it's true, the working class are being exploited one way or the other. And it's true. Those that have means of production are being exploited by those that do not have means of production. Okay? The superstructure is in a mess. Workers, the working condition for workers. How can you be a worker in this dispensation, economic quagmire, this Ghana's alien economy and being paid 500 cedis a month? Don't you pick car? Everything is escalating. Prices of goods are being skyrocketed. So 2024, as you're gearing towards the post-election, I think organized labor, these are some of the things that you need to think and talk about. Because the basic form, food, shelter, and the rest of it, which if that one is not being met, there will be uproar. I hope you understand. And everybody wants something good for him or herself and the family and the generation to come. Thank you very much.
Well, it's now time to go to our social media platforms. But before we do that, I'd like to make some small remarks which may help us in the discussions before us. The whole world is intensely aware of the situation in Gaza and the massacre of working people in Palestine. At the last count, based on actual body count, more than 40,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Zionist apartheid regime in Israel. Most of those who have been killed are women and children. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, the National Union of Metal Workers in South Africa, NUMSA, actually issued a statement calling on all trade unions in the world to show solidarity with the working people of Palestine. Over the last week, students in the Ivy League universities in the United States of America are out there on the street confronting the police, demanding that their government takes action. All over the world, people are standing up with Palestine and for the working people in Palestine. And perhaps you'd like to know what the position of the Ghana Trades Union movement is. I do know that the Socialist Movement of Ghana has issued a strong statement calling for an immediate ceasefire in Palestine and calling for solidarity with the working people of Palestine. It has also gone on to call for unconditional return of all Palestinian refugees to their homeland and so on. It will be interesting to know what the Ghana TUC says about the genocide against the Palestinian people. Now my pleasure to call on Comrade Abdul Haq to take us to our social media platforms.
Good evening to you all, and we apologize for not streaming early today. We had a few network challenges. I think we would like to receive some few messages from trade unionists in Nigeria who send their message across. So we'll take that few messages from them, and then we'll read a few messages for you also from here if you still have some time. So kindly stay tuned and then listen to these messages from the trade union members that are in Nigeria.
Hello, comrades. My name is Comrade Gift Joseph from Nigeria. I represent a trade union. So on May Day, we commemorate the solidarity of workers all over the world. And the significance of the May Day is to seek for workers' well-being, seek for rise in their pay, and organize workers in their different trades to give them a better life and better living.
My name is Alpha J. Marshall. I am a staff of Nigerian Labour Congress. I am the State Secretary for Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria. Majority of what we do in NLC is purely for the preservation, protection of the Nigerian worker, and that's the working class of Nigerians. NLC came into existence in 1978, and from that day, it has been a battle. It has been an eventful journey thus far. By May 1st, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Nigerian State Federal Government will be announcing a new minimum wage. We've been having this battle over the years that there's a need to raise the minimum wage of the working class in Nigeria because of the exigencies of governance that has eroded the capital of the working class, in the sense that the Nigerian government over the years has been very hard on the Nigerian working class by implementing certain policies that are not necessarily good for the working class. For example, the removal of fuel subsidy is purely an agenda of the IMF, the Bretton Woods institution, that are hell-bent in making Nigeria a docile state. The NLC have risen to that challenge. We have protested on several occasions, asking that the Nigerian government should do the needful. And what are the needful? They need to improve the lives of the working class, to raise their monthly pay and make their work decent. Therefore, implementing the decent work agenda. And that has been done. So by May 1st, that's in the coming days from now, Nigeria will be announcing or be having a new minimum wage. And apart from that, we expect that there will be a rise in living condition of the working class in Nigeria. That aside, NLC does so many things. Number one is organizing. We organize the unorganized. It's one of our major functions in the NLC. And like I said, we protect the rights and privileges and the benefits of the working class. And we are totally against, and I repeat, the NLC is totally against the neoliberal policies of the American government, the IMF, and the World Bank in an attempt to squeeze the Nigerian worker. Will be highly, and I repeat again, will be highly and daily, if possible, every hour, resisted by the Nigerian Labour Congress. In the African continent, unfortunately, the African story is a sad one. Africa is a commodity continent, so much rich in mineral resources, but unfortunately, it harbors a large percentage of poor workers or poor population. For example, the phone that we use today, the Android phones and the Apple phone we use today, that are produced in China and the US, the main ingredient for making the phone, the normal phone that we use on a daily basis, the smartphone, the Android phone, a main resource for such a artifact, that is the phone, is produced in Africa, are found in Africa. Example is cobalt. Now, Africa is poor, while the West is rich. Why is it so? Because the working class have been exploited and decimated over time because of the policies of the West or Western neoliberal policies, which is totally unacceptable. If a worker is sad, is not treated in South Africa, that treatment affects the worker in Nigeria, affects the worker in Morocco, affects the worker in Algiers, affects the worker in Senegal. So a threat to any worker anywhere is a threat to every worker in Africa. And NLC, like I said, the Nigerian Labour Congress, the largest labor union in Africa, will not accept that narrative and will do our best to change that narrative. There is a hope for the African man. There is a hope for the African working class. There is a hope. And I believe that hope is not too far. It's just very close. Because Nigeria and Africa cannot continue to remain in this quagmire of corruption, ineptitude, and the maltreatment of workers. It's a matter of time, and only time will tell. And I can assure you, it is a matter of time. May Day is not just a day of celebration, it's a day of that the workers in the world will look at their labor and say uhuru, because they have not given up under exploitation. It is a day to be remembered. It is a day to ask for more, to demand anti-labor laws and anti-labor rules. They should be removed so that the worker, every worker, can enjoy the fruit of his benefits and enjoy the surplus value that comes out of his sweat. So I say viva to every working class in Africa. I say viva to socialism, and I say viva to NLC.
Those are messages coming in from Joseph Uke Gifts, and then from the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, and also from Marsha Alpha Joshua Okoye, a member of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Nigeria. So those are the messages we received from them. Also coming in on our WhatsApp platforms, my name is KK. Okay, what's the full meaning of KK? Please, I do not appreciate the presentation that workers should go and vote and after watch the result on the television. 2, if that is the message, then I'm disappointed. I'm not sure I get the context, but that's the message from KK. Also coming in from Glory, it says, Efo from Sunyani, as we celebrate workers in Ghana, I wish them Aiku. Ghana reminds me of a book called Animal Farm by George Orwell, former and informal worker, are the architects of this country. Workers in Ghana deserves better. Workers in Ghana deserves better. This is also coming in from Comrade Edem Kwashi in Likpe, Guan District, Oti Region. Good evening, comrades. I believe every member of the parliament has wished people in his or her constituency a happy Workers' Day, except the Guan district, which is unrepresented in parliament due to the workings of an unjust regime. Let me use this progressive platform to wish all working people of Ghana a happy day. We should not lose hope completely. Throughout history, man has conquered. We will conquer capitalism. We will conquer imperialism. We will conquer poverty. We will conquer corruption. One day, I believe, Ghana or Africa will control her destiny and not bow down to forces that kept us down for centuries. Let us wake up and vote out elites who masquerade intellectuals, who are nothing more than state capturers, who have to come and reshape the destiny of Ghana to their benefit. Vote wisely to save Mother Ghana. That's from Edem Kwashi. He says, vote wisely to save Mother Ghana. This is coming from David Audi. He simply says, how far? Well, depends on your location. Are you far away? Because we are at Abilinkpi. This is also coming in from Samuel A.B. Amire. He says, thank you for the presentation. I enjoyed it. This is also saying, hello, good evening. I'm Gifty from Bolgatanga. Hello to you too, Gifty from Bolgatanga. What's your message? Add it later on or add it now. Or next time you are sending a text, remember to add your message or questions. Okay, this is simply asking for the Facebook link. I'm sure you'll find it now when you go on Pan-African Television. On Facebook, you'll find the link there, or you can also watch us on YouTube, Pan-African Television. This simply says, hi, I'm enjoying the show here at Kwashima. Add your name and your location and your message later on. Let me take some few messages also from our Facebook live stream. And this simply says, hello, Abdul from Karga says, thank you, Mr. Kwesi, for that history lessons. Well, the messages keeps coming, and then I hope you enjoyed the show so far. And I'll leave it here so that we get the presenter to give us some feedback on the questions. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure at this stage to invite our brother from the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Stephen Kisi Labi, to respond to the questions and concerns of the audience and on social media. Round of applause for Mr. Stephen Kisi Labi.
Thank you, Uncle Kwesi, once again, and thank you, my beautiful audience and those watching online too. All right, so I think I have a few questions that I need to answer. Okay, so the first question, May Days are not only celebrated whereby we'll be showing our plaques to the president and stuff. We award best workers as well. So when it comes to example, my union like this, my our head of accounts had the best worker at Construction and Building Materials Workers Union. So we don't only show our plaques and then tell the president what we are going through and then what we want him to do for us, but we also award workers who have worked. We are not saying the other workers are not working, but you could see that this person is working very hard. So we also award best workers in all the regions. So when you go to all the regions across Ghana, where May Day were celebrated, we award every union of under Trade Union Congress awards a worker, maybe 4 or 5 workers from maybe a particular union. So we don't only show plaques to our leaders. And then also concerning our Senate, I quite remember I went to one of the construction companies, and then I was engaged with the workers, and I was asking them some few questions, especially concerning their Senate. I used to be working in STL, which is Amandi, and my SNIT was paid from the time I started working till I resigned. My SNIT was paid. So I was engaging them and I was asking them, anytime I meet workers on the field, the first question I ask them is their SNIT, because that is what we know. Definitely when we go on retirements, we are in our 75 and then 65 thereof. That's where we are going to, because we can't work as we are the way we are working as we are young. We cannot work during that time. So I was engaging them, and then they were telling me their SNIT wasn't being paid, but they see that they deduct them. So I told them that no, they should go to the SNIT office, because it's their right to know whether their SNIT is being paid or not. So they went, and then I think later they called me and told me that I think some were paid, some were not paid. Then I told them that no, they should take a letter from SNIT to their company. So quickly, as a union, we came in, and then we met management, and then we advised them that, see, it is better you pay all the workers you are not paying their SNIT, because we, the union, we will report you to SNIT, and then you will not take it scot-free. But they went ahead and then clear all the arrears. So as I am on Pan African TV, and as we are celebrating our May Day, I want to advise every worker in our country that if your SNIT is not being paid, please visit any SNIT office for your checks. And then I think government not paying as SNIT, that one I wouldn't have maybe speak much on that one, because I know there are meetings going on behind closed doors. So maybe later, when I had the opportunity to come here, I might have the full brief on that, and then I think I can speak much on that, because I might say something which I might not know. And then concerning workers' salary, yes, that one we agree. And I think today's parade, I think I saw a couple of placards that was shown to president to work on our salary. It is true, because when this morning, when I was leaving the house to the office, I bought 400 Ghana cedis of fuel, and when I checked my fuel gauge, I realized that it can't take me back home. So I have to, on my way from here to my house, I have to at least stop up again, because definitely tomorrow I have to come to office. So our working conditions, and then how things have been increased in this recent time is very bad. So we are still working on it. We are still, we are not in times whereby in those days we'll be doing choboy and all that. Yes, the choboy is there, but we sit down, we jojo when it gets to the need for us to do our choboy. We do our choboy to let our leaders know that what they are giving us, we are is not enough for us, because we are on the field working, and they are in their office, but they are enjoying more than what we are enjoying. So we are still having, there's a meeting still ongoing, and then we are praying that by maybe in some few months to come, we will definitely hear a good news on that. So Uncle Kwesi, I think the few questions, I don't know if I've answered all, but a few questions that was asked, I jotted them down. Thank you so much.
Well. I believe that we've had a very interesting evening, looking at the relevance of May Day, how to celebrate it, how to move forward. and the problems that confront the working people all over the world. No doubt, the fundamental problem of workers everywhere in the world is capitalism. And all workers, all working people, have a responsibility to join the struggle to defeat capitalist exploitation everywhere in the world. Now, capitalist exploitation also expresses itself in different forms. It expresses itself as colonial rule, as neo-colonial rule, and as imperialism. And as we celebrate May Day, we cannot forget that today the working people of Cuba are under severe, painful blockade, simply because they've chosen a path that the United States of America does not want. And it's our duty as working people to insist on the lifting of the blockade on Cuba. We can also not forget the situation in the Saudi Arab Democratic Republic, where Morocco is the occupier in power. And the right of the Saudi people to self-determination is also a position that we cannot overlook as working people. Then, of course, we've spoken about Palestine and the crisis in Palestine. Of course, the imposition of sanctions on Venezuela and Iran are not just illegal, they are also immoral. And the working people in these countries continue to suffer greatly as a result of these impositions. We have a very strong relationship with the trade union movement in Ghana. And it is our wish that on a day like this, we do not just salute the Trade Union Congress and its affiliates, but that we also affirm our solidarity with the working people of Ghana in their struggle for better working and living conditions. We also find it necessary at this stage to make it clear that one of the objectives of this television station is to promote the interests of workers, and that is why our comrade is here. So Pan-African Television is a workers' television. It's a station which deliberately was set out to promote the interests of workers, to articulate workers' demands and so on. So there's a partnership between us and labor, even informal labor and so on. We do want to grow that partnership, especially as we celebrate, May Day. It is my pleasure to thank Comrade Kisi Labi for coming. Thank you very, very much for coming, because your coming here is a statement about the bonds that exist between us and organized labor. So we'd like to thank you very, very much for coming. And please extend our warmest regards to the Secretary General, the General Secretaries of all the unions, and the membership of the unions, and assure them that we stand solidly behind them in the struggle to improve the conditions of all working people in our country and beyond. Now, for those of you who contributed from social media, we'd like to thank you very much. Your contribution is significant and important. And then those of you who watch us at home and everywhere, we thank you so very much. Without you, this program cannot be the success that it has been. And for those of you who found time to come into the studio, red salute for you on May Day. And we hope that you will keep coming to make this program a success. Until we meet you again next week on another edition of Wednesday Palaver, please keep your dial on Pan-African Television for very good reason. We give you the best in sports, best in news, best in current affairs, best in entertainment, best in everything. Stay with us until we meet you again next week. Bye-bye from all of us. Makiza, Latifa, everybody. Showboy and everybody who worked on the program. See you again next week. Bye-bye.